What would you do if the boy who promised you eternal love in a game disappeared right on the day of the engagement, and years later you discover that maybe he never abandoned you the way you thought? This story begins as a virtual disappointment, but little by little it turns into a university entanglement, secrets, jealousy, new friendships, and a love that is born among broken memories. Because here, no one is exactly what they seem. The cold boy may be hiding guilt, the kind boy may be waiting for his chance, and the protagonist will have to decide whether to keep chasing a promise from the past or dare to make room for a real love. The protagonist is named Rem, a high school girl who lives so deeply immersed in the game Soul Master that, to her, the virtual world feels much more comfortable than real life. There, she does not have to deal with strange looks, awkward silences, or people judging her. In that universe, she can be free, funny, brave, and even romantic. That is why, when she meets a player named Kdrama, she quickly grows fond of him. She does not know much about his life, but she does know that he studies photography at Ganghan University, and that is enough for her to start imagining him as someone special. Over time, the relationship between Rem and Kdrama becomes more and more intense inside the game. They talk, keep each other company, and he becomes that person who seems to understand her even without seeing her in person. Then comes the moment that feels like a dream to her. Kdrama proposes an engagement inside the game. Rem, extremely excited, feels that she finally has a love story worthy of a novel, even if it is through a screen. Her mother tries to bring her back to reality and reminds her that trusting a stranger so much can end badly, but Rem does not want to listen. To her, what she feels is real. Her best friend, Hong Mina, does not stay quiet either. She tells her to open her eyes, that it is still a game and that she cannot put her whole heart into someone she does not even know face to face. But Rem is convinced that Kdrama will not disappoint her. She even invites him to celebrate their virtual engagement while she is still in high school, with a promise of marrying for real when she turns 20. To Rem, that wait does not sound absurd. It sounds romantic, as if destiny had already written the happy ending. The day of the engagement inside Soul Master arrives. Rem gets ready, logs in, and waits excitedly while the other players gather for the celebration. Everything seems ready, but there is one important detail. Kdrama does not appear. The minutes pass, then more time, and he still does not connect. The guests begin to murmur, some joke, others suggest that he probably stood her up. Mina, although she tries to accompany her, also tells her that this outcome was not so unexpected. Rem, however, keeps waiting, clinging to the idea that something must have happened. But the days pass and Kdrama remains missing. He does not answer messages, he does not log in, he gives no explanation. Rem's sadness turns into rage. She no longer wants to stay crying like the naive girl who waited in vain. So she makes an impulsive decision, but very much in her style. She will study like never before to enter Ganghan University, specifically the photography department, and thus find the boy who left her heart in pieces. If she could not get answers in the game, she will look for them in real life. Years later, Rem manages to enter the university. Her plan sounds simple, but in reality, it has a huge problem. She does not know what Kdrama looks like or what his real name is. She only has a strange nickname, a university major, and accumulated resentment. Even so, she begins searching for him around campus, looking at photography students as if one of them might have the secret written on his forehead. Soon, she hears about a welcome party for new students and decides to attend. Although socializing is not exactly her favorite sport. At the party, Rem feels out of place. Everyone seems to know each other, laugh easily, and move with a confidence she does not have. Then a very handsome boy appears and approaches her as if he already knows her. He tells her he did not expect to see her there, and Rem is confused because she does not remember ever seeing him before. When she asks if he knows her, he seems a little hurt and tells her that they were supposed to have already met. Then he walks away, leaving her doubt burning. Could he be Kdrama? Before she can understand anything, Rem ends up introducing herself in front of everyone. There she meets Gong Jue, a sociable girl who immediately tries to befriend her, and also Namju, a boy who seems to have his eyes on Jue from the very first minute. Amid laughter, drinks, and question games, Rem drinks more than she can handle and ends up saying too much. When they ask about her first love, she blurts out that it was someone who promised her an engagement and then never showed up. Already quite drunk, she points at the handsome boy from earlier, convinced that maybe he is the culprit behind her wound. The moment gets out of control. Rem walks toward him, reproaches him for leaving her waiting, and even starts hitting him without thinking. The boy, instead of making a scene, stays calm, as if he understands that she is overwhelmed by something she has not been able to overcome. In the end, Seol-rem falls asleep, and he carries her to take her home. The next morning, she wakes up dying of embarrassment. She remembers the party, the accusations, everyone stares, and she only wants to disappear from the map. As if fate wanted to keep bothering her, Seol-rem gets a part-time job at the university library, and her new co-worker turns out to be the same boy she humiliated at the party. There, she discovers his name is Sun Woo-yun, a third-year student, president of the student council, and one of the most popular boys on campus. In other words, she did not just make a fool of herself in front of anyone, but in front of the boy half the university admires. Woo-yun, however, does not make fun of her. On the contrary, he treats her with a calmness that throws her off. While they work together, Woo-yun reminds her of something she had forgotten. It turns out they had already met when Seol-rem went to the university to apply. He was helping with admissions and was the one who comforted her when she, in tears, explained that she wanted to study photography to find the boy who had stood her up. Woo-yun gave her a handkerchief and told her they would see each other again if she managed to get in. When Seol-rem hears this, she feels even more embarrassed. She apologizes for not remembering him and for her behavior at the party. Woo-yun responds gently, without making her feel worse. That way of treating her begins to stir something inside Seol-rem. Woo-yun does not take advantage of her weak moment or humiliate her for her mistake. He listens to her, takes care of her, and makes it clear that what matters is not what others say, but that she can heal. Just when Seol-rem begins to think that maybe he is being too kind, a beautiful girl appears. She immediately assumes she might be Woo-yun's girlfriend and quietly withdraws, trying not to get her hopes up. But he catches up to her and clears up the confusion. That girl is his younger sister. And of course, Seol-rem ends up, as always, imagining dramas ahead of time. Later, Woo-yun invites her for coffee. There, he asks her if, in case she finds the boy who abandoned her, she would really want revenge. The question sounds strange to her, as if he knows more than he says. But before going deeper, Seol-rem hears an employee call a customer by a name that chills her blood. The same strange nickname Terakexkalai used. She turns around and sees another young man approaching. That boy is named Cha Ju-han. He is Woo-yun's roommate and friend, and from the very first moment, he has a cold attitude that makes her uncomfortable. Seol-rem tries to talk to Ju-han, to ask him about his username in Soul Master, but he cuts her off with a dry tone. He tells her he has no obligation to give her personal information and leaves. That attitude bothers her a lot, because the Terakexkalai she remembers was sweet, patient, and considerate. Ju-han, on the other hand, seems like someone who enjoys making her uncomfortable. Even so, the coincidence of the name does not let her rest. She begins looking for him around campus, convinced that maybe that coldness is only a mask. At a photography lecture, Seol-rem sits beside a sleeping student without knowing it is Ju-han. When he wakes up, she stares at him for too long, and he asks her to stop acting weird. After class, Seol-rem insists that they play Soul Master together. Ju-han refuses, but ends up accepting so she will stop bothering him. Her plan is simple. See his username and confirm if he is Terakexkalai. But when he logs in, Ju-han uses a different account. He says it is a secondary one, because the main one is not available. The explanation does not convince her, but his way of playing confuses her even more. He is nothing like the kind boy from the past. Ju-han already knows that Seol-rem is looking for Terakexkalai. He saw videos of the scandal at the party and understands that she is chasing a shadow. He tells her he is not the one she is looking for and even says that, if he were, he would probably hide it so he would not be connected to that drama. Seol-rem, tired of his attitude, concludes that he cannot be him. Terakexkalai would never have been so hurtful. She leaves upset for work, and there she almost gets hurt when some books fall. Woo-yun appears just in time to help her, once again in calm and considerate prince mode. As the days pass, Ju-han's words affect Seol-rem more than she admits. She stops attending university for a while. Meanwhile, Woo-yun asks about her almost every day and even helps with part of her tasks. When Seol-rem returns, Ju-ae tells her how worried he was. She tries to convince herself that Woo-yun is only kind because he is like that with everyone, but her friends begin to notice something more. To make matters worse, when they have to form a group of 5 for a project, many girls want to be with Woo-yun, but he rejects them all and chooses to directly join Seol-rem's group. Ju-ae happily joins. Muayel does too because he wants to spend time with Ju-ae, and Woo-yun announces that the 5th member will be Ju-han. Seol-rem immediately protests. She does not want to work with the boy who confuses and irritates her, but Woo-yun insists that Ju-han is talented and can contribute a lot. Ju-han accepts without emotion, only because he needs a good grade. The group is complete, Although the tension can be felt from far away, Woo Yun takes care of Seol Rem sweetly. Joo-han watches her with a strange intensity. Joo-ae suffers because of her feelings for Joo-han, and Muail tries to comfort her while keeping his own feelings to himself. One day, Seol Rem sees Joo-han trying to catch a lost cat. She is surprised because, with animals, he does not behave like the cold boy from campus. He is patient, careful, and even tender. She helps him rescue the kitten, and since Joo-han cannot keep it in the dorm, Seol Rem offers to take care of it at her house until they find its owner. That small moment shows her a different side of him. It does not justify him, but it makes her understand that maybe behind his toughness there is something more complicated. During a project meeting, Seol Rem notices that Joo-han has a camera. She asks to borrow it and finds something that leaves her breathless. The name Terakexkalai engraved on it. She remembers that, in the game, Terakexkalai had told her he had a camera with his name engraved on it. Then she confronts him. This time, Joo-han does not deny anything. He calmly says that yes, he is Terakexkalai. Woo Yun is surprised, and Seol Rem, far from being excited, becomes furious. She does not understand why he let her suffer so much or why he first rejected her and then revealed himself. Joo-han explains that he was the one who sent the message telling her to stop looking for Terakexkalai. He also admits that he has developed feelings for her and that he does not want to see her thinking about another person. But to Seol Rem, that does not sound romantic. It sounds selfish. She tells him he is acting absurdly and leaves furious. When Woo Yun stays with Joo-han, he asks him if he really likes Seol Rem. Joo-han answers yes and warns him to stay away. The friendship between them begins to tense up, because they are both connected to the same girl and the same secret. Joo-ae is also devastated. She had feelings for Joo-han and does not understand why he is interested in Seol Rem. She feels invisible, as if her affection has no value. Seol Rem tries to comfort her and promises her that she is not looking for anything with Joo-han. After everything that happened, she does not plan to give her heart to someone who played with her wounds. Muail, for his part, accompanies Joo-ae in silence. Although it hurts him that she looks at someone else, he prefers to be near her rather than leave her alone with her sadness. From then on, Joo-han begins appearing wherever Seol Rem is. He wants to get closer, fix things, and prove that he is not the same dry boy from the beginning. But his attempts are clumsy. One day, she finds him feeding cats in a garden and treats a wound with a bandage. That gesture seems small, but it makes it clear that Seol Rem is not cruel, even if she is hurt. Then she speaks honestly to him. She tells him that she knows he does not really love her, that maybe he is only confused by the memories of Terakexkalai, and that she does not want him to play with her emotions. She wants to keep the beautiful part of the past and continue as simple classmates. For the first time, Joo-han seems to realize the damage he caused. Meanwhile, Seol Rem tells Mina that she found Terakexkalai, but nothing turned out the way she expected. She thought she would get answers, maybe an apology, maybe a logical reason, but she only got more confusion. And although she is angry, she admits that she cannot completely hate Joo-han, because a part of her is still connected to the memory of the boy who accompanied her during her loneliest days. Seol Rem's past hits her again when she enters a university storage room and the door closes behind her. The darkness paralyzes her. In seconds, she relives a high school trauma. Some girls locked her in a dark room to scare her, and she, desperate, asked Terakexkalai for help through the game. On that occasion, Terakexkalai panicked, but Woo Yun, who was with him, reacted quickly and called the school. He even said he was Seol Rem's boyfriend so they would take him seriously. Both ran to look for her, although when they arrived, she had already been rescued and taken to the hospital. Seol Rem never knew any of that. She did not know that Woo Yun had been part of that rescue, nor that this was why he recognized her years later. In the present, Woo Yun calls Joo-han because he was also supposed to go to the storage room, but discovers that Joo-han completely forgot. Without wasting time, he runs to the place and finds Seol Rem unconscious. He takes her out, calms her down, and holds her with a gentleness that makes it clear how much he cares. Joo-han sees the scene from afar and leaves hurt, feeling that once again he arrived too late. After that scare, the bond between Woo Yun and Seol Rem becomes stronger. He is there when she breaks down, when she does not know what to do, when her past overwhelms her. A few days later, Woo Yun calls her and asks to see her at the station because he wants to tell her something important. Everything points to a confession, but just then Joo-han calls her urgently and tells her that he needs to tell her the truth about Terakexkalai. Seol Rem hesitates, because she already had plans with Woo Yun, but the name Terakexkalai weighs too much. She gets on a bus to see Joo-han, and Woo Yun manages to see her leave without being able to stop her. When she arrives, Ju-han takes her in front of a memorial dedicated to someone named Bom. There, he introduces Seol-rem as the girl Bom always wanted to meet. She looks at the photograph and freezes, because the face is identical to Ju-han's. Then he reveals the truth. Bom was his twin brother, and Bom was the real Terraquexcali. Seol-rem does not want to accept it. She thinks Ju-han is inventing another cruel lie. But Woo-yun appears and confirms, with deep sadness, that it is all true. The truth changes the whole story. Bom did not abandon her on the day of the engagement. He was late, desperate to log in and fulfill his promise. On the way, he had a very serious accident and lost his life. That is why he never appeared. That is why the account went silent. That is why Ju-han and Woo-yun tried to hide the truth from her. They knew Seol-rem would carry a guilt that did not belong to her. But for her, finding out this way is devastating. For years, she hated Bom, searched for him to take revenge, called him a coward in her heart, without knowing that he really did want to arrive. Seol-rem collapses. She cries, apologizes to Ju-han and Woo-yun for the pain they also lived through, and runs away because she cannot hold so much sadness. After that, she falls into a very dark stage. She stops going to university, locks herself away, and loses the desire to continue with the project, with classes, with everything. One day, her mother tells her that someone from the university is waiting outside. It is Woo-yun. He does not come to pressure her or reproach her. He comes to walk with her, to remind her that Bom loved her and that he would never have wanted to see her abandon her future. Woo-yun comforts her with a tenderness that does not seek the spotlight. He allows her to cry without judging her, and that calm presence helps Seol-rem breathe again. The next day, Ju-han also appears. He tells her that everyone is worried and that they want to see her back. She responds that she will go alone to visit Terraquexcali, that is, Bom. In front of the memorial, Seol-rem leaves him flowers and thanks him. Although their story ended before it could begin in real life, Bom was the one who pulled her out of her emotional isolation and led her, without knowing it, toward new friends, new dreams, and a campus where she could start over. Little by little, Seol-rem returns to the university. Ju-ae receives her with a mix of scolding and affection, because she had been very worried. Seol-rem apologizes for disappearing and admits that she needed time to sort out her heart. With the support of her friends, she begins to move forward. It is no longer about forgetting Bom, but about remembering him without staying trapped in the pain. Meanwhile, Woo-yun remains close, more and more attentive. Seol-rem tries to convince herself that he only takes care of her out of compassion, but Ju-ae notices that there is something more. The way he looks at her does not seem like pity, it seems like restrained love. In the middle of that whole process, the drama also takes the opportunity to show how a person can change when they stop living hidden behind a screen. At first, Seol-rem arrived at the university with only one mission: to find the boy who broke her heart. She did not plan to make friends, did not plan to get involved with anyone, and much less imagined ending up between two boys who, each in his own way, were connected to the same wound. But university life forces her to look around. Ju-ae, with her direct energy, becomes that friend who pushes her to participate, not to lock herself away, and not to feel so alone. And Mu-il, although he seems relaxed and playful, proves to be someone with a very noble heart, because he stays by Ju-ae's side even when he knows she has her eyes on someone else. Ju-ae and Mu-il's relationship remains as a simple but very sweet subplot. He looks at her with hope, accompanies her, offers to join the project only to be near her, and comforts her when she feels rejected by Ju-han. Ju-ae does not realize it immediately, because she is busy suffering for someone who does not look at her the same way. And that also has a realistic touch, because sometimes one is so focused on chasing the person who does not correspond, that one does not notice the one who truly cares. Mu-il does not pressure her, does not create big dramas, he simply stays. And that kind of quiet affection, although it is not always the most intense, is often the healthiest. On the other hand, Woo-yun is the character who most seems to have his heart under control, but in reality, he is also carrying a lot. He knew Bom, saw closely the relationship Bom had with Seol-rem, and afterward had to keep a difficult secret. That is why, every time he sees Seol-rem suffer, he does not only feel compassion. He also feels responsibility, as if somehow he had to take care of the part of the dream Bom left unfinished. But with time, that responsibility begins to mix with his own feelings. He no longer sees her only as the girl Bom loved, but as Seol-rem, a clumsy, intense, sensitive girl, capable of standing up even after breaking inside. The beautiful thing about Woo-yun is that he never forces her to choose or tries to win through pressure. He approaches with small details. He helps with her work, accompanies her when she feels bad, protects her when she is afraid, and gives her space when she needs to cry. That way of loving is very different from Ju-han's. Woo-yeon is calm, while Ju-han is conflict. Woo-yeon seems like a safe place, while Ju-han represents an open door to the past. And that is Seol-rem's emotional dilemma. One part of her heart wants answers, but another part begins to desire peace. Ju-han, for his part, is not simply the rude boy of the story. He lives trapped in the shadow of his twin brother. He has the same face as Bom, but he cannot be Bom. And that hurts him more than he admits. He surely spent a lot of time watching how the memory of his brother remained alive in other people, while he carried guilt, loss, and comparison. When Seol-rem appears looking for Dramarecap, Ju-han feels shaken, because she is not looking for him. She is looking for someone who can no longer return. That is why he acts badly, pushes her away, hurts her, and then regrets it. He does not know how to love her cleanly because his affection is born mixed with grief, jealousy, and the need to be seen for himself. The conflict becomes stronger because Seol-rem is not only deciding between two boys. She is also deciding who she wants to be after learning the truth. 4 years, she lived thinking that Dramarecap had stood her up, and that wound pushed her to study, enter university, and leave her bubble. But when she discovers that everything was a tragedy, she realizes that much of her new life was born from a painful misunderstanding. That destroys her, but it also forces her to mature. She can no longer keep living as the girl seeking revenge. Now she has to learn to live as someone who received love, even though that love ended too soon. In addition, the drama touches on something very beautiful. Virtual relationships can also truly leave a mark, but they should not completely replace real life. Seol-rem took refuge in Seoul Master because there she felt safe, but it was at university where she learned to look people in the eye, ask for help, argue, forgive, make friends, and face her emotions without hiding behind an avatar. The game was the beginning of everything, but it could not be the place where her life remained forever. And that evolution makes her character feel more human, because she does not stop being sensitive or dreamy, she simply learns to walk with more strength. When Seol-rem returns to campus, she is no longer the same girl who arrived searching for an unknown user. Now she knows the truth, she knows Bom loved her, she knows Ju-han is confused by his own pain, and she knows Woo-yeon has been by her side since long before she could remember it. That is why every glance, every gesture, and every silence begins to carry another weight. It is no longer about fantasy, but about real decisions. And although the ending remains open, the story manages to leave a very powerful romantic tension. Ju-han dares to confess first, but Woo-yeon is there, with that gift that seems to hold another confession waiting for its moment. The group finishes the cat project and posts it online. To everyone's surprise, the video reaches the animal's owner, who contacts them to recover it. Seol-rem is happy, although it also hurts her to say goodbye to the kitten that accompanied her through such a complicated stage. She meets with Ju-han to hand it over, and the owner deeply thanks them for taking care of it. That moment feels like a symbolic closure. Just as the cat returns home, Seol-rem is also finding her own path back to real life. While they watch the cat leave, Ju-han takes Seol-rem's hand. He looks at her seriously and confesses that he loves her, asking her to return his feelings. The declaration leaves her paralyzed. Ju-han is not Bom, but he carries the same face, the same family wound, and a guilt that has followed him. However, right at that moment, Woo-yeon is nearby with a gift in his hands, as if he too had decided to confess what he feels. Thus, the story closes with a question that leaves the heart on pause. Will Seol-rem choose the boy who arrives late trying to repair the past, or the one who is always there taking care of her in silence? And that is precisely why the ending is so gripping. Because Seol-rem is not facing a simple decision. If she looks at Ju-han, she sees Bom's reflection, but she also sees a boy who is trying to separate himself from that shadow and love under his own name. If she looks at Woo-yeon, she sees the boy who arrived in silence every time she was about to fall, the one who did not promise her a perfect fairy tale, but did promise presence. For many girls, that conflict feels very close. One part of you wants to run toward what hurts because an unfinished emotion remained there, and another part wants to choose peace, even if it is scary to accept something new. The most interesting thing is that Seol-rem is no longer forced to choose from need. Before, she was looking for Dramarecap to close a wound, but now she can choose from what she truly feels. That is the difference between chasing an illusion and building a healthy love. And although the season ends without revealing her answer, it makes it clear that Seol-rem's true growth is not in getting a boyfriend, but in recovering her voice, her self-esteem, and her courage to return to the real world. In the end, that doubt is what leaves us wanting more, because either path can break her or heal her in a different way. And there lies the true romantic suspense. discovering whether her heart will choose memory, repair, or a new beginning without fear. Finally, free. And the lesson this drama leaves us is quite clear. Not every abandonment is truly abandonment, and not every cold person lacks feelings. Sometimes we judge from pain, without knowing what happened on the other side. But it also reminds us of something important. Loving does not mean living trapped in an old promise. There are memories that deserve tenderness, not chains. Seol Rem learned that healing is not erasing the person she loved, but allowing herself to keep living after loss. And above all, that the most beautiful love is not always the one that arrives with fireworks, but the one that accompanies you when you can no longer hold yourself up alone. End of the drama.